Here's what they had for Native American wisdom. Quote, "The universe is the mirror of the people," the old teachers tell us, "and each person is a mirror to every other person." And I apologize, I'm not going to say this name correctly. Hyameos Storm is the wisdom keeper there. The other one, listed as Native American, is a quote, "Your mind, your relationship with yourself and others are reflected in everything around you. Your intentions, your actions are causes which return to you as effects. Always there is a pure stream of light of mind within you to be actualized in right relationship and actions for the good of all." And this one is Dayani Yahoo. What's relevant to our discussion about these two sources of Native American wisdom? Does anybody know? Do you recognize those two names? Okay. What else do you know about them? Right. Both have been proven as frauds. Yet they are listed by unknowing and presumably well-meaning professionals as purveyors of indigenous culture and wisdom. How often are societal expectations a catalyst for cultural exploitation? And we've got a good example right there. It's hard to know for sure, but in 2002, when our university inaugurated a new president, the event committee wanted to include a Native American element to honor the original inhabitants of southern Minnesota. And I don't know how many of you know the history of southern Minnesota, but it is the site of the largest mass execution in the history of the United States, when in 1862, 38 Dakota men were hanged for their involvement in the Dakota-US War. So they wanted to honor the history of the place and include a Native American element. And they contacted me, and they asked me to find a Native American speaker to participate in the inauguration ceremonies. So I asked my elders for potential speakers, but was met at first with silence. And I thought I had offended them in some way and was really nervous about what the answer was going to be. And then my Auntie Carrie spoke, and she said, "You should give the blessing. You will represent us, Dakota Iakte, and you will speak Dakota." And I wasn't really comfortable doing this because I'm not an elder, I'm not a fluent speaker, but they insisted that as part of the university community, it was my responsibility to stand up there and represent them at this event. So I agreed reluctantly, because I believed it was important for the university community to understand that while traditions within academia may have a 500-year history, Dakota traditions are older. And I don't know how things work in other places, but every year at graduation, in the back of our program is an explanation of the significance and the symbolism of academic regalia, the procession, and all of the traditions that are associated with commencement or with inauguration ceremonies. So the university committee was pleased with the idea. Then they asked me to participate in traditional regalia to add to the festive occasion. I refused. It was important to me, to Dakota people, to Indian people in general, to present my part of the program in Dakota language in traditional academic regalia. This was my small attempt at decolonizing the proceedings, and I refused in any way to be part of Indians on parade. And I think we all know what happens when we have Indians on parade. They trot out dancers, they get a flute player, and then nobody is ever asked to explain the cultural significance of what they've just seen. I had a call from the athletic department 2 years ago because they wanted to have a Native American theme for the NCAA track and field event that was going to occur on our campus. And they wanted to use dream catchers to show support and to recognize our Native community. Indians on parade. I told them it wasn't a good idea, and so they called somebody else who said that it was a good idea. My institution, as do yours, requires documentation, verifiable proof of my academic credentials, including transcripts that indicate I received a Doctor of Philosophy in English from the University of Kansas in 1994. It required proof, reprints, and conference programs of my publications and presentations when I applied for promotion and tenure. Our students are required to provide documentation for veteran status, for citizenship, residency, transfer credits, and disability. However, when the other full-time Indigenous faculty person and I proposed a recruitment and retention plan for students, faculty, and staff, and asked that those who checked the box provide documentation of American Indian identity, we were told point blank, we can't do that. It's against the law. Instead, a competing proposal from a white anthropologist in ethnic studies was supported. What is against the law, according to the Indian Arts and Crafts Act of 1990, is misrepresentation in marketing of Indian arts and crafts products within the United States. The act is a truth in advertising law designed to protect the integrity of Native American cultural heritage and the economic self-reliance of tribes and their members. The Indian Arts and Crafts Act makes it illegal to offer or display for sale or sell any art or craft product in a manner that falsely suggests it is Indian produced, an Indian product, or the product of a particular Indian tribe. First-time violations can result in civil or criminal penalties up to $250,000 in fines or a 5-year prison term if you violate the Indian Arts and Crafts Act. There is a definition of Indian associated with this federal law. Under the Act, and I'll leave some of these brochures if you're interested. Under the Act, Indian is defined as a member of a federally or officially state-recognized tribe or certified Indian artisan. A certified Indian artisan means any individual who is certified by the governing body of an Indian tribe as a non-member Indian artisan. An Indian product means any art or craft product made by an Indian. Indian labor makes the Indian art or craft object an Indian product. Indian tribe means any federally recognized Indian tribe, band, nation, Alaska Native village, or organized group or community, or any Indian group that has been formally recognized as an Indian tribe by a state legislature or by a state commission or similar organization legislatively vested with state tribal recognition authority. So that's a pretty clear-cut definition, according to the law, for Indian arts and crafts, who an Indian is. This covers all Indian and Indian style, traditional and contemporary arts and crafts. It does not cover music, poetry, stories, or food, which we all know is a basic element of Indian life, because it's based upon the primary mission of the Indian Arts and Crafts Board, which was to support American Indian and Alaska Native economic development through the expansion of the Indian arts and crafts market. And this was established, the Indian Arts and Crafts Board was established in 1930.